my channel. I am so happy to be back with you guys. I know I've been off a little bit. Like I said, the usual phone that I will record to make Degrassi content and run out of storage. So I got a tablet. So we're gonna get back on track, get back to making Degrassi reviews. We're gonna wrap up season 13 as fast as I can. Then we're gonna do season 14. I'm thinking with a final review for the episode. I think I'm just gonna review the last episode that came on and then the finale just all together. And unfortunately they're canceling it, even though they have a petition to keep the show going. I'm just irritated. But this ain't about fun. We're going to be doing a Degrassi video. Now, before I wanted to jump back into doing just Degrassi reviews, there were I was watching Degrassi yesterday, and I was watching season 14, and y'all going to say, oh my God, you hate that season so bad, but you always watch it. I was actually watching my favorite episodes from the season, but there was something in there that I wanted to address, and then I was also watching the older generation, Craig and their generation, and I was watching season 3. I was watching the storyline with Manny being pregnant, and I want to talk about Degrassi having this weird, icky feeling when not doing teen pregnancy storylines. Actually, I want to discuss that first before I talk about Winston's true character from Degrassi, so which will be a different video. So Degrassi's icky, dicky feeling with doing teen pregnancies. Yes, Degrassi has done teen pregnancy storylines. They've done them with Allie. They've done them with Manny. They've done them with Jenna. They've done them with Liberty. I think my biggest issue with Degrassi doing teen pregnancy storylines is that why is it that when every teenage girl gets pregnant, their first mind is to have an abortion? I don't agree with abortions. I'm very pro-life. I just don't agree with it. I understand why women do it, but I'm more of a person that's like, why not just carry it to full term and give it up? You feel me? But I can't tell the woman what to do with her body. You feel me? Her body, her choice. But I am someone who was very against abortion, but I try not to force my belief onto someone else or try to make them keep a baby they don't want. That's not my role. I'm not pregnant. I'm just, giving my opinion. Even Lola, I totally forgot to mention her. She got pregnant in Degrassi next class. So y'all see a pattern here, right? I think the only one out of all of them who wasn't pregnant was Allie, but she thought she was. I feel like Degrassi had a problem with actually making. Well, then you have Jenna, right? Because a lot of people say, wasn't Jenna pregnant? Yes, Jenna was pregnant. Jenna was pregnant. She carried the baby up to term. She did not get an abortion, but she gave her baby up. And, considering with that storyline with Jenna and Casey giving the baby up, I agree 1,000% with them giving the baby up. They were in a very toxic relationship. They didn't have a very good support system with Casey's mother working all the time and not being able to help them as much. Casey not helping Jenna with the baby, being at school, having a job, doing anything he can to isolate himself for not wanting to be a father. Jenna had to drop out of school and be a full-time mom. I think had she had a little help, she would not have been depressed. But she had zero help. She had no help from Casey, had no help from his mother. They did not have a good support system. I feel like, I never really cared for Jenna and Casey's characters, but I feel like that pregnancy storyline made them somewhat interesting. But you never got an insight on what they feel like after they gave the baby up. They just went back to living their regular ass teenager lives, and I feel like it shouldn't have been that way. Same thing with Liberty and JT. Like, Liberty was pregnant, and this is probably the first time ever in the show she ever felt any type of interesting. They made Liberty pregnant, and then you totally forget she's pregnant once they do the whole JT and Liberty storyline for the very first time in season 5. They should have stretched out a little bit. They shouldn't have been so fucking thirsty to try to just get it out there. They should have stretched it out a little bit. Once Liberty and JT broke up and decided to get a baby up for adoption, you totally forget Liberty's even pregnant. Like, you have no idea she's even fucking pregnant. And they gave the baby up. They never ever do an insight of how Liberty or JT feel giving their child up. Not JT, but they had that one episode where Liberty felt like she abandoned her child because her parents told her that they were moving the baby away to something, I can't remember what state, but they were moving him away. I feel like if it's an open adoption, I don't think they should be allowed to do that, right? If it's an open adoption, that means the birth mother is allowed to visit the child. It's just he's with another family. I don't know. They never really said what the adoption was. Was it a closed adoption? Was it an open adoption? Like, they never said what it was. But y'all see a pattern here, right? Where they do a story where someone gets pregnant, they either get an abortion or they give the baby up. Why couldn't we seen a teen mother killing shit? Like, being pregnant, having the baby father by her side, whether they're together or whether they're not, killing shit, getting jobs, you know, figuring out that being a teen parent is not easy. Like, why can't we get the, like, why can't we get no life around teenagers type shit? Amy and Ricky was killing it as teen parents. They had great support systems. Ricky was getting his shit together. The fuck nigga got a job. Nigga got his own apartment. Like, they were like cracking down and, you know, getting to that point where it's like, we can no longer be kids because we have a child. We need to crank up, get our shit together, and start doing shit the right way. Why couldn't we see that with in Degrassi? And then I'm gonna say, oh, but you have Mia. Man, yeah, you definitely have Mia, but if they would have put Mia in Degrassi when she was pregnant at 13 and we saw her struggle, maybe I would have liked her character a little bit better. But she came in, Isabella was like, what, 2 or 3 years old when Mia came to Degrassi, so you didn't really get to see her struggle as a teen mom. And for the most part, her mother took care of her baby. She didn't take care of her child. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Her mother took care of that kid. Her mother took that baby to and from daycare. Her mother would not go to work to take care of her child. If that baby had the flu, whatever the fuck it was, she took that baby to and from the hospital. Her mother took care of that baby. Like, at 8 or 9, her baby, Isabella, was mostly with her mother. And then Mia went to Paris, right? So who was Isabella staying with? Her mama. She was not taking care of that child. So y'all cannot even use that as an example because it's a very lazy example. Like I said, had they put Mia's character in the show where she was 13, struggling, being a single parent, because, you know, the baby daddy, I think, was Lucas, did not want to be involved because he was scared too. I would have liked her character a little bit more because you saw her struggle as a teen mother. I would have grew to like her character a little bit better. But putting her in where her child is already 1 or 2 years old, I don't care because her kid is a toddler at this point. She's not a fucking baby anymore. So you really don't get to see her struggle. The fuck? Where there's some things where Mia struggled with in Degrassi, Next Generation, where she had Isabella. Yeah, for the most part, everybody else was always watching her kid. JT, her mama, she ain't never had that baby. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all get on my nerves with that shit. Be quiet. But like I said, I don't know what Degrassi's like issue was with not wanting someone to be pregnant, carry it to term, and actually like just killing shit as a teen parent, as anything. Like, we couldn't have seen that. Like, we couldn't see someone just killing shit like a teen mother and a teen dad. Like, we couldn't just see them. And then it's like, yeah, y'all had, and then y'all gonna say they had Dallas. Dallas was a teen parent, but y'all ever feel like that was just something that they wrote for his character? Because I do. If y'all don't, I know I do. And I say that because there's no struggle for Dallas being a teen parent. Because his kid is not with him. His kid lives with the mama. And he only see his kid when she comes down to the visit. So where's the struggle at? For the most part, she's taking care of that baby. Like, huh? Like, had they done something where she put him on child support because she getting tired of being the only one that financially supports him? Or she tell Dallas that they need to make some decision making where either he needs to move back there so where he can help her take care of Rocky, or her and Rocky need to move down here to where they can all be a family together. That is something I could have got behind with Dallas's character. But instead of putting the focus on him being a teen father, you just made his character be so in love with Allie. Like, I don't understand. Like, Degrassi, y'all have things y'all could do to make these characters a little bit more interesting for us to dig deep into their psyche. And instead, you just wanted to make them relationship obsessed. Like, no. Them two examples I just said would have definitely made me more interested in Dallas's character. Because in season 12, him and the girl, I don't even know what his baby mother's name was, but they said that, she was okay with taking care of Rocky by herself and getting help from her family so Dallas could come down here for school to get into and what is it called? Something with hockey. I don't know the name of the hockey shit, but to get into hockey to live his dream. She allowed him to do that because she wanted him to live his dream and get into a hockey league. You could have did something where she came in season 12 and just told him that she gets tired of taking care of the kid that they created all by herself. That she needs help and she's going to put that nigga on child support, or her and Rocky got to move down here to where she could get more hands-on with him, or Dad's got to move back over there to help her with the baby. I would have done that because now it's like, okay, now we could see the struggle with Dallas being a teen parent. It could have been something where did he run away? Was he not ready? The director could have did anything. Instead, they made his character just be relationship obsessed with Allie. So there you go. But like I said, Degrassi really had a problem with teen pregnancy storylines. Like I was watching season 3. Like literally, I watched season 3. I'm watching the whole Craig and Manny storyline. I'm watching the whole love triangle. I'm watching everything. I watched when the shit started. I watched when the shit ended. But the episodes where Manny was pregnant are just something, or those are episodes that's just like really like eye opener for me, because I feel like if it was any character in the show who should have been pregnant, it was her. I feel like it would have did way more for her character, and I think the only reason why Degrassi didn't do it was because Manny was young, and because I think the fans feel like had they made her pregnant, they would have had to force her and Craig down our throats. No. Just because Manny was carrying his baby and Craig felt like she was the mother of his child, they didn't have to be a couple. They could co-parent, but they didn't have to be a couple. And that's the problem. Like, they could do something where Manny wants to keep the baby, but she doesn't want any ties with Craig as far as romantically or as in a relationship. That they just need to learn how to co-parent. He need to be there at all the appointments. Period. And it would just show maturity for her and Craig, because I feel like we already know Craig got character development. We already know his character was very deep. We knew a lot about Craig. But with Manny, her character always just felt very surface level to me because her character lacked depth. Like, her character really lacked depth for me. Like, that's Ashley. Manny's character really lacked depth. Like, she really was just relationship obsessed. If she wasn't dating a guy, I promise y'all, for all her little fans who like to, hype her up as if she's like the best character in the Degrassi universe, let me ask y'all something. If Manny was not in a relationship, did she have any interesting storylines? I'm going to give y'all a minute to see if y'all can answer that with a straight answer, with a straight face. If Manny was not in a relationship, did she have any interesting storylines? All of her storylines came from dating. All of them. Even if it wasn't dating, they came from a nigga. So, you cannot sit here and act like, oh yeah, she had interesting storylines by herself. She did not. When Manny was not in a relationship, or she didn't have any involvement with a guy, she did absolutely nothing. And I'm going to always use the example of season 5. Season 5, right, they gave her the whole storyline with Peter. They gave her the whole storyline with Peter. Peter being a creep and, taking advantage of her while she was drunk. Okay. Then she did nothing after that storyline was done. They literally reeled her back in when it came to her character feeling more interesting once they put her back together with Craig, right? Once the whole Peter storyline was like wrapped up within 2 episodes, Manny's character didn't do shit. You don't see her character at all. She gets no storyline. She gets nothing. Up until the fucking episode where they put her and Craig back together, right? Again, Manny is being dragged into a relationship that nobody wanted to see her in, to make her character feel important, to make her character feel seen. Got it. Once she got in her relationship with Craig, she literally got no storylines, no depth. She was barely on the screen, and yet y'all sit here and act like she was just the biggest Degrassi female character with the best storylines. No, there are more characters from the older generation and the newer generation who have more character development than she did, And you have to think she was a character from season 1 to season 9. And she had no fucking character development. Her character was always the same. It always remained the same. She's only interesting if she has a boyfriend. Like, even in season 5, in season 7, they try to make the whole thing about, oh, she wanted to be an actress. She wanted to get in college. How was she able to get, for all of that to happen, for her to get any ounce of freedom? She had to make a fake relationship with Jay, being engaged to him, so she could get freedom. But yet again, a storyline wrapped around a guy. Like, why in season 7 did it have to be that she had to be with Jay? I'm not mad that her and Jay became a couple, because they're definitely one of the best couples in Degrassi, and he was definitely the best guy for her. But I feel like, why not just do a storyline where she's over her dad bullshit, she's tired of being controlled, tired of being told what to do and what not to do. This is her dream and she wants to accomplish it. Whether or not her father supports it, whether or not her father thinks a woman should be an actress or that it's not what a woman should do. Whatever he thinks, she should have went against it and just said she following her path. Like, did it have to really involve Jay? Like, do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? Manny's character has always remained the same, and y'all sit here and act like she's just the best character in the show. She's definitely one of the most overrated characters because her character's always been surface level. Like, what? That's why I feel like the pregnancy storyline for her would have gave her something. It probably would have made me grow to like her character a lot. Like, how y'all like her character, I probably could have gotten there had they made her a teen mother. Because I feel like it just made sense. Because at the end of the day, she was the one who fucked the guy who was in a relationship. She decided to sleep with Craig because she was such a pick-me. She wanted to be picked, so those are the consequences for your actions. You want to be picked so bad, you want to be with this nigga so bad, go ahead. Be with him while you're pregnant. Go on ahead and do it. I feel like the storyline would have done so much for Manny's character and Craig's character. I feel like it would have matured them up a little bit. It definitely would have. It would have matured them up a little bit. And I think when you do have a child, you do mature. Sometimes, I can't speak for everyone, but some people do step their motherfucking game up and realize, I got a kid, I can't be acting childish, I can't be out here just doing anything I want to do. I got a kid now, and I feel like you could have just did something where it's like, okay, many parents would have kicked her out or probably disowned her had they found out that she was pregnant. You could use that for leverage. That, again, that's drama. That's something I could get behind on her character where it's like, damn, it's one thing for her to be 14 and pregnant, but for her parents to kick her out and truly disown her, that's another thing. She could have moved in with Craig or probably Emma, like, just something. Like, I feel like that storyline with her being pregnant, her and Craig, I feel like it would have been one of the best storylines in Degrassi with them killing shit as teen parents. Absolutely. It would have done a lot with them killing shit as teen parents. They did not have to be in a relationship. They would not have to be in a relationship. I know a lot of people feel like that's why they didn't want to do the teen pregnancy, because the parents probably feel like they would have shoved them down our throats as being teen parents. No. Now, I will say this, and this is the only time I would ever probably say this. If Degrassi did something where I could have saw a tad bit of chemistry between Manny and Craig, if they would have did the teen pregnancy storyline, I probably wouldn't have been against them being a couple, being in-game, whatever you might feel like. But at the end of the day, I still would want Craig to be in-game with Ellie, and just think of all the shit we wouldn't have gotten if Manny was pregnant. We would never have got him and Manny again. Craig and Ellie actually would have dated. They would actually have been a couple. Instead, because we did not get the Craig and Manny storyline, because we did not get her being pregnant, we had to sit back and watch them being in a relationship that nobody cared for, and yet Craig and Ellie yet again being on a bender, never being in a relationship. Think all the storylines that they did that we wouldn't have gotten, because had they just did a storyline where Manny gotten pregnant. Manny still could have been with Jay. Her and Jay could have been killing shit as a couple. He could have been like the stepfather to her kid. Craig is living his life as a rock star while still being a father. Like, there's so many storylines they could have done. Like, Craig and Manny as teen parents, they definitely would have killed shit. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Like, it bothers me that Degrassi just felt icky not wanting to make someone be a teen parent. Like, I'm talking about carry the baby to term, have a support system, seeing them struggle as a teen parent. all that shit. Like, I would have loved it, and I feel like it does nothing but mature the characters at the end of the day. Like, it definitely would have matured Manny's character, it definitely would have matured Craig's character. I feel like it would have shaped them up a different bit, made them characters a little bit deeper. And like I said, Craig was already getting character development, so his character was not surface level. Manny's character was very surface level, so I feel like her being a teen parent would have made me grow to like her character a lot, because her character was very surface level, and I just feel like y'all overrate the fuck out of Manny. When half the time in the show, she did a lot of nothing more than doing a lot. And that's just how I feel. That's really all I really got to say for this video, for real, for real. I want to know why Degrassi never wanted to do teen pregnancies. Like, what was the issue with them doing teen pregnancies? I really want to know. Degrassi, I'm talking to y'all. What was the issue with doing teen pregnancies? Like, if you're doing storylines where they're having unprotected sex, there is consequences to having unprotected sex. If they're having unprotected sex, this should either be a teen pregnancy storyline or sexual diseases. Even that, why didn't Degrassi ever do sexual diseases storylines? Why was there ever not someone? I mean, yeah, you had Emma who catch gonorrhea. Was she the only one who ever caught a sexual disease? Like, why wasn't there storylines where people catching STIs, catching AIDS? Like, this is real life shit. Like, kids are dying from AIDS. You don't have to be a certain age to catch AIDS. Like, where is them storylines at? Like, y'all, like, I ain't even finna say nothing else. Y'all already know. Like, Degrassi definitely lacked. There were storylines they lacked. There were storylines they didn't do enough of. There were storylines they didn't take a chance with. So, y'all already know. But teen pregnancies is definitely one up there where I feel like, what the fuck was the problem with Degrassi not wanting to do teen pregnancies? Like, what the fuck was the problem? Anyway, I'm gonna holler at y'all later in my next video. Catch y'all later. It's great to be back. Be on here talking with y'all, getting shit off my mind. Y'all already know. Catch you guys later.